Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Good morning. Today is going to be a very interesting day. We have results on tap for Tesla and Google, two of the things that we really look at in this channel. So I have some thoughts about it. Two videos are coming out immediately after the live stream. I'll be recording it. The script is ready. I've done my work on that. Let's get started with the market overview today. US stock futures are in positive territory ahead of the open, with Dow Jones, Nasdaq 100, S&P 500 futures, all of them are up around 0.3% to 0.4% in pre-market trading. And the S&P 500 closed above 6,300 for the first time this week. But momentum has slowed in recent session, with no more exceeding 1% since late June. In other words, we have not gone above 1%. It's always been below 1% in the movements. And also the European markets are starting to gain some kind of attraction with DAX, CAC 40 and FTSE all up over 1%, reflecting broad optimism across global equities. I don't know why that optimism is, but I'll take it. And Asian stocks also rallied, especially Japan's Nikkei is up 3.5%, driven by relief over newly announced US trade deals in the region. Now, friends, here is my contrarian opinion. I think that the market has lost track of value, and it is more momentum based, because all these on and off tariffs and these kind of announcements are creating a distraction, and people are getting motivated by positive news like a trade deal has been signed. But the bottom line is that we are moving far away from value. We are momentum based, and also the number of retail traders who are in the market and who are invested in the market is higher, and institutional investors are lesser in the market. So there is a good chance for a rug pull to happen because there will be inexperienced retail traders. So that's something that we need to worry about. And I'm thinking that if there is an average tariff around 15 to 20% in the US, that means US consumer is going to face a tax of 15 to 20%. Now, this can work in two ways. If the companies absorb the tariffs, then you would expect earnings to go down. And if price to earnings ratios are to be considered, with the earnings going down, the share price has to go down. Let us say that instead of absorbing the tariffs, it's sent on to the customers, then the affordability goes into a difficult situation, and therefore sales will be less. And as a result of which the market might go down, the revenue numbers will go down, margins may be intact, but revenues will be lesser. So either way, it's going to affect the economy in the long run. So I don't think this is something great that has happened at this point of time. It's setting the foundation for inflation and probably a stronger dollar with higher interest rates and higher yields. So that's my thought process. We'll go ahead. US strikes trade deals with Japan. That's the latest news. And the agreement with Japan is reducing proposed tariffs from 25% to 15%. So the market is focusing on the fact that instead of 25%, we have got 15% tariffs. They are forgetting that there was lesser tariffs before, much lesser than 15%. So there is a net increase in tariff. Automakers Toyota and Honda surged in Tokyo trading. Deals were also reached with the Philippines and Indonesia regarding tariffs, and negotiations with China are ongoing. And I keep a track of India because I'm an Indo-Canadian. So I know for sure that the Indian government is not happy with what is happening right now, and they have stepped back a little bit to think this through. And I don't think India will ever open up the agriculture sector the way Japan has done, and the way Vietnam and others are doing. So steep tariff remains for several Asian countries, and uncertainty continues for both South Korea as well as India. So these are the two countries that are still thinking what needs to be done. And the earnings are in focus. Key pre-market earnings movers include solid beats from AT&T, Boston Scientific, the General Electric, and Hasbro, all reporting higher than expected results. On the downside, Texas Instruments and Otis Worldwide posted weaker performance, weighing slightly on their shares. And Tesla, meanwhile, faces renewed investor scrutiny following a prolonged slump in sales through mid 2025. And I think for Tesla, it's going to be more of a narrative than anything else. I mean, what Elon Musk would say about robotaxi, what he would say about Optimus Prime, because we know for sure that market has been lost in certain places. There is also a little bit of a euphoria for, opening up new markets like India. But at the end of the day, when I look at Tesla and how it is positioned within the United States, it's positioned very well, because it's not going to be hit by the tariff issues within United States. So there is a competition, but that's a competitive advantage. But Toyota has now struck this deal. So that makes it easier for Toyota as well. But on the other hand, if you look at what's happening outside, you have this dynamic with China, which is not going to be very good for Tesla. And also the fact that Tesla needs rare earths, and rare earths are still in the hands of China. All of those things are to be considered. But remember that Tesla also has a whole lot of Bitcoins on its balance sheet. So that's also going to be adding to the value of Bitcoin. So there is positives, there is negative, and we'll have to see what happens when the market opens tomorrow, and how everything shakes out, because the earnings are coming after hours today, and that would have after hours market participants going ballistic on the things. But I always trust the market action after it opens at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll see what happens out there. My position is a short at this point of time on Tesla. And the mega cap tech earnings are going to test market concentration, because the ongoing rally is being powered by a concentration of a handful of mega cap tech and growth stocks. The upcoming earnings release are expected to be a major test for the market's resilience. If they go down, they'll take the entire market down with them. There's 30% of influence is coming from all of these big stocks. And then Bitcoin and crypto regulation is the other thing we have to look at. Bitcoin is trading around 119,000 after nearing a record of 123,000 last week, as Congress advances major crypto regulation bill. And market observers point to regulatory uncertainty as a driver of both volatility and long-term opportunity in the sector. So macro sentiment snapshots look as follows. The US house price index rose 3% year over year, but consumer confidence trickled down to 93 from 95, and job openings edged higher to 7.77 million. Global business optimism is moderating. Dun & Bradstreet's Q3 Business Optimism Index fell 2.3% quarter over quarter, led by softer sentiments in larger companies. And oil prices are steady as attention shifts to ongoing trade negotiations and global demand outlook. In terms of pre-market movers, there's a company called Warranty. We don't track that in this channel. The ticker symbol is WRNT. It's got a change of 254% positive. Heavy pre-market activity out there. Then we have Toyota Motors, which is up 12.7%. This is after the trade deal. So pre-market action indicates an upside of 12.7%. Unfortunately, Texas Instruments has dropped 11% in pre-market trading due to weak earnings report. And Otis Worldwide has also dropped 9.9% in pre-market trading due to the lower than expected results. We also have global macro events that are coming up. ECB is going to hold rates steady today, but may signal openness to a future cut. That's the expectation. And Japan Central Bank signals optimism post-trade deal, suggesting possible conditions for rate hikes now emerging. So those are the macro dynamics. How will all of this come through? Well, I'm thinking that given the fact that there is a lot of retail investors, the number of retail investors is much higher than ever before, and institutional participation is much lesser in comparison. So I'm thinking that we are going to disregard everything, and we're going to move across with the shiny objects. And it is for the institutions to pull the rug. And when the rug pull happens, it's going to be significant. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, let me take you over to the TradingView platform and let us look at all these indices and the price charts. First of all, I'm going to go in for a 1-day view, and I'm going to change the windows into a single window. And now I'm looking at S&P 500 futures, and what I see here is a diagonal line of resistance, which is going to offer resistance to us today. And we also have a resistance at 6,377.75. The importance of this particular resistance is because it is denoted by the topping tail. We had a topping tail in the past, but the topping tail was overcome by this new topping tail that we have. The body is small, but still it's a topping tail, and we have to think about it. And today in pre-market action, we have already touched that resistance level and have come back. The question is, are we going to be able to break this topping tail and make it invalid? If we make it invalid, then we have got a clear course to go all the way up to 6,424. And if we break this, then we have a target out here for 6,655. If we reach that target, that would be great. It's a bull flag target that I'm talking about. Now, we still have the bearish divergence intact, and we'll have to see what happens with that. So that's the reason why there could be a rug pull. The second reason is also because with all the tariffs, we are adding cost. And that cost, President Trump is expecting will be absorbed by the importers. If the importers absorb the cost, then we are looking at lower earnings next quarters. And if lower earnings come up, then the price of the stock has got to go down. So that's one reason. The second reason is that if the importers do not digest the tariffs and do not pass it on, and then they keep on passing it on to the consumers, then the consumer is going to find it unaffordable. So the revenue numbers might stay high, but the actual number of units sold might go down. And as a result of which, we'll have lower margins despite the fact that we have maintained the revenue levels. That again is going to lead the stock market to fall. So given all of those things, I am thinking that we are waiting for a rug pull to happen. We are at record earnings levels, and the same story applies for Nasdaq as well. This diagonal line of resistance and this topping tail out here. Earlier we had a topping tail for Nasdaq, but the body was very small, so we had to ignore it. Now we have a bigger body, but the tail is not long enough. So we are getting signals from all sorts of places that things are not looking pretty good. One of the other things that we have to look at is the bearish divergence that also says that there is underlying problems. So rug pull can definitely happen, and that's the reason why I am very cautious. Dollar index is up 0.01%, minor jump, and we are getting a support out here from 97.25. So that's what is giving it a minor jump. And then if you look at the 10-year yields, they are up 0.01%. And I have removed the shoulder that I had made out here. I have changed my mind. I think we are seeing the shoulder forming now. If this shoulder forms and gets executed, then I think I'll move my targets to somewhere out here. And this would be the neckline, and I would be looking at 4.7%. So I'm going to remove this from here right now. I'm going to wait for this next shoulder to form. And if the shoulder forms, well and good. If it doesn't, then we have a support out here at 4.17%. Now let's look at 20-year yields. Again, I'm looking for the shoulder to form out here. And we actually met our earlier target of 5.06, and then we came back. This was a doji candle out here, not a topping tail. This was also a doji candle, the second one. It was not a topping tail. So we don't have a topping tail. So we'll have to see whether this becomes a shoulder. And we have a green candle here today. Let's see how it ends up. The 30-year yield is also up 0.015%, and we are looking for a shoulder out here. Let us see what happens out there. We met our earlier target of 5.062, but we didn't have a topping tail either. It was all doji candles. That said, I want to move on to have a look at our indicators itself. S&P 500, friends, we had a diagonal channel. I'm just going to momentarily go into the 1 month time frame and show you what it looks like. So we had this diagonal channel in which we were participating. Now we have been out of it for quite a while. So we are really stretched out. And I think this has got to give somewhere, because we also have the bearish divergence going on. So with all of those things said, I'm thinking I'm a bit bearish, and I'm waiting for the rug pull to happen whenever it does. So that's the story about S&P 500. The bearish divergence is still intact, and I'm going to look at Nasdaq. And Nasdaq has got this diagonal line of resistance, and we had a topping tail out here, which is this green candle with a wick out there. And I'm thinking that that's a decent topping tail. I would have liked the wick to be longer, having touched this diagonal line of resistance, but that did not happen. But I'm still going to respect this topping tail, and I'm going to think that the bearish divergence and the topping tail altogether are indicating a potential rug pull coming around. VIX is down 2.9%, and that's a good thing, because less volatility is always better for the market. The gold price has gone down 0.1% in pre-market trades, and we had a resistance out here. I have to mark it red. Why I didn't get it red? 1 second. Let us see. Yeah. So this is the resistance that we have out here, and for today the resistance at 3,439. Right now we are at 3,428, and once we break through this resistance, I think we are looking at 3,727 as the target for gold, and the bearish sentiment is improving. It's tending towards bullishness. MACD is also bullish. Momentum is above average. Plenty of room to the RSI being overbought. So I think gold is looking pretty good to me. And QQQ, which indicates pre-market trade, says that we are up 0.18% in pre-market trades. And let us go on and have a look at put-call ratio, which is looking slightly bullish to neutral. And then let's go on and have a look at AI. I'm looking at select stocks out here like I did earlier. NVDA had a significant drop, and it came down below this diagonal line of support, which now becomes a diagonal line of resistance for today. And for today, the resistance is going to be around it's going to be around 170.57. And we are presently up 1.25% at 169.12. So that's the range for today. And let's go on to Meta. Meta is up 0.36%. Could this be a bullish pennant that we are looking at for a long-term bull flag? That's a question that I'm seriously contemplating. And we are up 0.33% in pre-market trades. We are at 707.17. And for today, this diagonal line of resistance is at 713.80. So we'll have to see what happens out here. We could also be looking at the next one, which is Google, which is going to report later this evening. Google is down 0.05%. People are very cautious with Google. There are some, they have got some court cases going on, and there is a lot of competition in the search engine market. So the markets are looking for some kind of a feedback from Google on what are the revenue drivers right now. They are looking at Waymo, they are looking at YouTube, and seeing that is there any other areas from where the revenue is picking up, and how Google is managing the dominance in the search engine area with the advent of AI. So it's a time of flux for Google, which was a market leader for search engines. So that's what is happening out here. But if things go well, I think if there's a breakthrough above 193.94 with good earnings and good projections with the data center and the cloud revenues and everything. So Google is a behemoth. It's got a whole lot of things going on. It's got a lot of startups also going on. So anything good that comes out can push it up. So I'm still bullish on Google. I have a little bit of Google in my portfolio. I'm not short on that one. Amazon is up 0.50%, and many analysts have raised their targets for Amazon, so it is pretty bullish. Pre-market, they are at 228.61. We are going to continue getting support at around 226.95 for today, and we have a target of a reverse head and shoulder, which takes us to 258.06. So all systems go. Amazon had been increasing the price for products, and Jeff Bezos had a meeting with Donald Trump recently, and I'm pretty sure Trump must have called him over for this price-related stuff. So we'll have to see how it goes, because in Amazon, it's all merchants who are selling, and Amazon definitely picks up the best products and comes up with the Amazon basic version, where it tries to dominate the market in that segment. So those dynamics are also at play. Is Amazon going to be able to please President Trump and reduce the pricing in Amazon? That is something that we need to see. And if he does that, then it's going to mean that the earnings are going to go down and forward multiples have to be adjusted accordingly. So we'll wait and see what happens. But right now, things are looking great for Amazon until we get more news about what happened with President Trump and Bezos. Apple is up 0.32%. And we have Microsoft, which is up 0.31%. We still have resistance from the diagonal line of resistance at 512.07. I'd like to jump on to Palantir. Palantir is up 1.25%. We have a support for Palantir at 144.70, and I'll peg the resistance at 155.03. So that's the range for Palantir. And I would like to take a quick look at let's see, where is SMCI? Yeah, at SMCI is up 0.78%, but we still have a resistance at 50.29. Pre-market, we are at 50.25. So we'll have to see if we are able to break through above 50.29. And if we did, then our next resistance, I think, is going to be at 53.43. So that said, let us go on and have a look at Genomics. In Genomics, I'm looking at Prime, which is up 1.10%. It's going to get support today at 4.55. And I'm looking at Caribou Biosciences, which is up 2.95% today. And I think we are making new highs on Caribou Biosciences. The chart is really looking very strong. It's a bit overbought, so I would expect a little bit of consolidation to happen. MACD, momentum, everything is bullish. And we have Beam Therapeutics, which is up 1.30%. And I think the resistance for Beam Therapeutics is going to be 22.51. And we have had a tail which was all the way up to 22.75. So that's going to be the ultimate resistance for Beam Therapeutics. And Altimmune is something in which I have a little bit of holding. I'm looking at this as a bull flag, but I'm seeing the first glimmer of hope today, the gain of 1.19% in pre-market trading. And Verve is going to be the same. It's going to be in that range bound area. I had made a video about Verve. You can check that out for more details on Verve. Illumina, I think, is coming out as a strong force. It's up 1% in pre-market trade. It's at 103.05. This diagonal line of support is giving it a lot of support. And we have a resistance at 103.27. If we break above this resistance and reconfirm on the resistance, I'm going to get in on the action. But right now, I'm watching this. The chart is looking pretty good. Even if you look at it as a cup and handle pattern, we have a cup and handle pattern forming. But I want this line of resistance to be broken through. Then I would be really happy to move into it. Then I have CRISPR out here, which is up 1.96% in pre-market trades. And we had this topping tail out here. The topping tail, unless it is taken out, is still going to make me bearish about CRISPR Therapeutics. So I am thinking that CRISPR Therapeutics is likely to come down, and the support is going to be at 59.68, from where we should be bouncing up again, or we'll be attracted to do the gap fill out here. So I'm going to be a bit cautious about CRISPR Therapeutics for the next week or so until we extinguish this topping tail. So that, my friends, brings me to a close, but I would like to check Precision before I go. Precision is up 3.29%. It's up 5 cents in pre-market trading. The diagonal line of support is going to be at 1.50 for today. So as long as we are above this diagonal line of support, I'm happy. August 3rd week is when we're going to get the FDA approvals, and the chances of approval is pretty high. So I'm holding on for that bump. And that's about it, my friends. That brings me to an end of today's session. And I hope that you guys are all doing well for today. And good morning, Inf. Thanks for joining me. And we'll see what happens when the market opens. So if you have anything that you want to talk to me about, this would be a great time to do that. Or else, I'm about to shut down this session, have a quick breakfast, and go ahead and record and edit my video for Tesla and Google today, because its time is of essence. Watch out for that within an hour or two. See you guys. Bye for now.